Sorry. Hi, I'm Lady Teaspoon and today I want to talk to you a bit about the vintage and second-hand scene in Sheffield. A bit of a disclaimer here, I'm not like an expert on vintage. I like vintage shops, I like vintage, but I'm not like super into it. Also, I spent only about 4 months in Sheffield, so there are probably a lot of shops and a lot of things that I missed. But here are my thoughts on the subject and maybe some information that you might want to know if you're thinking about visiting Sheffield. There are quite a few vintage and second-hand shops in Sheffield and I was excited about that because I feel like they are a bit more unique and you can find some really good pieces there that you might not find anywhere else. However, I was a bit disappointed that a lot of the vintage shops were filled mostly with like 80s and 90s clothes. And I'm not a person who is super strict about like what is considered vintage. Like I'm not one of those people who think that it has to be like 60s or older and 70s is kind of okay, but yeah. But like when I go to a vintage shop, I expect there to be like stuff that is older. Like I feel like there should be a bit more than just like 90s and 80s. Like I was born in 92 and like I'm not vintage, okay? Let me just put that out there. So yeah. So I feel like I kinda expect things to be like at least like 80s and older. And if there are a few like 90s pieces or like even like stuff from like now, I feel like that's okay as long as like most of the stuff is older. And also my main problem was that a lot of these vintage shops, they weren't even filled with like nice like 90s, 80s or 70s dresses. It was like a lot of jeans and t-shirts and band t-shirts and was kind of like a bit disappointing because I was expecting like some unique pieces. And I was just kind of baffled, like why don't you just call yourself a second-hand shop or like a thrift store or something, because I don't know if vintage really suits like this type of shop. And like there's no shame in being a second-hand or a thrift store. Like I love those places, I love flea markets. Like no shame, absolutely no shame. I have no problem with those places. My problem is when second-hand shops and thrift stores try to make themselves sound fancier by kind of slapping the vintage mark on everything and being like, yeah, we are vintage and blah blah blah, when most of their stuff is like 80s, 90s and new clothes. So it's kind of like, why? And also vintage tends to be a bit more expensive, which is understandable because like dress from 50s is quite rare, so it is a bit more expensive than like some other second-hand things. So I feel like a lot of like second-hand shops try to sell their stuff as vintage because then they can like charge more from them, and I have like a huge problem with that. Like come on now, stop slapping vintage on everything and overpricing your crap, please. Because like I enjoy second-hand shops, but I don't enjoy second-hand shops that overprice their products and basically have false advertising. And I know that is a bit like rough, but that's just kind of how I feel about this. And this is not like directed to any one shop in particular. I feel like this is a problem even outside of Sheffield. Like when you go to like most like major cities and big cities, there are a ton of second-hand shops that kind of sell themselves as vintage shops. So that is not just a problem in like UK, it's like worldwide. And it's a bit annoying because you go into the shop expecting one thing and then you get something else. That being said, I did really enjoy Sheffield and the shops there, and I bought quite a few clothes there. So I would like to share with you what I bought and the shops that I bought them from, and kinda maybe a little information about those things. Okay?
These pants are from a store called Volker, and it was one of my absolutely favorite vintage stores at Sheffield. They had really nice stuff, and they also had some high fashion brands like Versace. I really like the print, it's so fun and the pants are super comfortable. I think I paid around £20 for the pants. This pink fur coat is also from Volker. The jacket was about £25, and also I had like a coupon code for Volker, so I got about 20% off or something. It's super cute and fun, and it's actually really warm. I can see myself wearing it during autumn and maybe even winter. This dress is from a store called Cow, and it was also one of my favorite stores. They had some really nice stuff and like real vintage, and while some of the things were a bit expensive, they also had some really affordable stuff. Like I think this one was about £30. It's a bit long on me, so I need to take the hem in, and also the sides are a bit long on me, so I need to do some alterations, but overall I think it's a really nice dress. This shirt is also from Cow, and again it's a bit big on me, but that's just kind of my life. Everything is always like a centimeter or 10 too big on me, so that's okay. I think this shirt was around £20 or so, and I'm not sure how versatile it is, but it's just so much fun. These next pieces are from a kilo sale. Basically, you picked what you wanted and 1 kilo of clothes cost £15. It sounds like a good deal, but the selection wasn't that great. And while these pants are super fun, they were broken. They used to be suspender pants, but one of the straps had completely fallen off, so I had to take the other one out too. This shirt is quite cute, but I am not sure what I'm going to do with it. It's really loose on the top and quite tight on the bottom. I might kind of take it in a bit at the top or something, but I'm not sure yet. This jacket was so fun and it has so much details. It's so 80s at its best and worst. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. It is really big on me, but I might take it in a few inches or I might wear it with a belt. We'll see. So it wasn't all bad, but I was a bit disappointed because I did expect like a wider selection of things. Some of the stuff was broken or dirty, and it was mostly like from 70s, 80s and 90s.
While I was in Sheffield, there was also an event called Lulu's Vintage Fair hosted at the City Hall, and that was pretty amazing. They had a lot of stuff there, like clothes, jewelry, bags, a few shoes, and also there was this woman up on the stage singing like these 50s songs, and there was even a cafe, and there were a few people selling their handmade stuff. So even though that is not quite vintage, I feel like those things often go kind of hand in hand, especially if the handmade things are kind of like vintage inspired. But even though the event was amazing, I didn't really end up getting anything because they were like proper vintage, so they were a bit out of my price range. Like, I can spend quite a lot of money if I fall in love with something, but I'm not going to spend like 50 euros on something that I think it's okay. But I did think that the event was really good, even though I didn't find anything that was really my style. But there was this woman selling her handmade stuff, and I did buy two bows from her, and she has an Etsy shop, so I will put the link down below. And these are just like these really cute bows that you can clip into your hair, and she had a lot of different colors on sale, but I felt like these fit my style the most. That is all for today, and as always, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I will see you next time. Bye!